guys again.
Yeah, you said
It's a thing.
But,
a word.
guys, we love you, so that's why we call you
Guys
guys.
and gals.
Guys and gals. So we have a guest.
But nobody knows who he is yet.
No. we're not
Actually,
gonna
everybody
let you-
probably
It's
knows
just-
who
Yes,
he is
nobody-
right now.
It's the story of my life.
He probably
Who's that guy?
made fun of more people watching this live.
Keep it for yourself. Shh. Just wait. Just wait.
secret. It's
It's a secret. Because before saying to you, Happy New Year. But
Again?
Probably in February.
For the 416th
But
time.
I love saying that.
I
So
love
happy 2024.
Yay.
We have to thank the people that actually support our podcast.
Absolutely.
Sponsors.
Yes, our sponsors, because with no sponsors, no life, no podcast,
Patata, no money,
life.
no
He's
candy.
so sad.
And we're gonna be so sad, you too, because you cannot see this amazing guest here that we have. So,
That's right.
First off, thank you so much to Vito Gentile. Vito is a fantastic real estate agent, broker. He's from Remax. This guy can sell you everything you're looking for, the house of your dream. So just call Vito, talk with him. He can advise you. He can suggest you what's your better options, what is on the table, what is on the market. Like, he is the guy. So thank you so much, Vito Gentile, Remax. I'm going to give you his contacts. So his mobile phone is 514-825-1720. And I think this is business phone number is 514-360-4332. Or you can contact him by email at vito.gentile@remax. Okay, thank you. Quebec.com. So Vito, thank you so much. Guys, contact him and find the house of your dreams.
There you go.
Another great sponsor that we have,
This is awesome.
we have Ernie De Minico. Ernie, thank you so much. You guys want to get fit after the holidays? This is your guys. Indeed, Montreal Fitness Trainers.
Yes.
MTF.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing, guys. So you're looking for the right people. You want to get in shape. You want to get ready for the summer. This is the place to go.
I'm going.
He's the guy to contact. They can find you the best solution for your needs. Maybe they can even do you a meal plan that you can follow you 360.
Do they cook? Because if
I
they
don't know
do,
if
they're
they
hired.
cook,
Well,
but
that's Ernie.
they
We're
might
Italian,
be-
Ernie.
Probably they're gonna cook also. So Ernie Domenico, and I'm giving you their contact is 514-969-4075, or you can email them at mtlfitnesstrainers@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Let's talk it out.
Yay! Thank you so much. You guys rock.
My first question for Franco after you
You need
introduce
to
him.
introduce him.
Yes.
No!
But I'm saying, look at him. Look at
guy.
him. He goes,
Am I on
guaranteed.
camera yet? Am I on camera?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so all this time I was on camera? Oh, my
I
God.
saw you. You're looking up.
I'm like, oh, they're only looking there.
Well,
I'm
it
so
depends.
sorry.
We'll see.
So
No, it's all
sorry.
good. But look at it. Look at
Can
him.
we edit that?
No, there's no editing.
Oh, my God. All right.
It is what
I
it
didn't know. I
is.
thought, I'm like, oh, the camera's on them too, and I'm like whittling my thumb.
Well, maybe. It could happen.
You
Is
whittle
this
your thumbs?
I twiddle.
Oh, I thought you said whittle.
I went to Kennedy. What do you want? You want accuracy or you want timing? You can't have both. It's like
You got both, bro.
Yeah,
Let's introduce the man of the hour.
Yay! We have the utmost pleasure, the extreme pleasure,
Fantastic.
the New Year's pleasure to introduce to you the best, Franco Taddeo.
Number one.
Well,
Welcome.
I don't
How
know.
are you?
Thank you.
Do you go to Ernie, Montreal Fitness Trainers? Because
No,
You
but-
look like you're
But
in
my
shape.
wife is.
your wife is
also,
the manager.
taskmaster, and she pulls she's like, that's enough gnocchi. And that's it.
Those are the best trainers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. She's like, too much pasta, no candy. So I mean, you know,
Nothing you
You
can
have to weigh the
do.
options. You have to weigh the options. It's hard, being Italian.
we do have the best food in the world. I mean,
know.
I
seriously.
totally agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, we might be biased, but it's true. It's the best food.
no. You know what?
No,
We're
no,
not because
We are.
Other people.
we
other
do.
people always say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
listen. I
It's
mean,
not
we've
us.
all traveled.
Yeah.
You'll go to like the most remote village in like the Himalayas in Tibet.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like an Italian pizzeria.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's gonna be owned by a Greek, but it's still an Italian pizzeria.
It's probably if we're going to Piazza Bella
Yeah.
by a Greek, but yeah.
Tasso is not making
Tasso's
spanicopita. He's making pizza. You know?
That's
It's so
good.
true. It's so true.
It's so true, really. Yeah.
Les spécialités italiennes.
In
What, they
Rome-
speak
in-
French in the Himalayas now?
run by. No, I'm talking about like when we do gigs out of
Yeah,
town. You know, it's like spécialité italienne. It's Spiro.
Spiro and Tasso.
Okay.
Oh my
welcome,
God.
welcome, Franco. Welcome. Thank you for
It's
doing
nice
the
to be
show.
here.
It's nice to have you.
We've been
Thank
trying
you
to make
so
it work for a while.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, well,
now in the midst of Montreal winter, we're
yeah.
What a joy.
Yes.
What a joy.
I was
Just-
worried. I was actually worried. I said, "Oh my God, if it doesn't get better."
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
Well,
God.
had we
guys,
done
I
it
was
last night, it would have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now,
Yeah,
last
I
night
know.
it would have been probably
Yeah.
possible. It was
Yeah.
a major kind of snowstorm.
Well,
Yeah, I
Not
know.
major, but
Major enough.
Yeah, no, it took me an hour and a half to get
Piccirillo.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Piccirillo.
it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah.
But well, we're happy to have you on, Franco.
It's nice to be here.
And I have my first question for you.
Da-da-da-da.
This is a deep question.
Icebreaker.
Oh, boy.
Who is Franco Taddeo?
Whoa.
God. That's deep, though. Honestly, normally you want to like
Ease them
Ease
in.
it.
ease in. You know, you're like, all right, you know, we just started. Like, here's my boobs. No, wait. I don't want to expose myself. I mean, who am I? I mean, like, I'm a child of immigrants. I'm a comic. I'm a dad. I'm a somewhat successful husband. You know, jury's still out, and I'm a Montrealer. I always say, you know what? That's people ask me like, do you feel like Quebecois or do you feel Canadian? Do you feel Italian? And I feel a little bit of all those things,
Yeah.
but 100% Montrealer. Right?
You see?
I mean,
You
Yeah.
say the same
Yeah.
thing.
I think that encapsulates all of it, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
that,
And I love also the fact that actually you bring
Yeah.
this variety that's
Yeah.
part of yourself within your comedy when you do your shows.
Yeah.
There's a lot about you being immigrants, but also like there's a lot like kind of conversation that goes from, you know, things from the past, but also from the future.
Yeah.
So what inspires you the most? What is the part of you that inspired the most of you the most when you do your shows
So
now? Because I believe through the time maybe it changed.
I think like comedy is about truth, right?
Yeah.
Like people know if you're bullshitting, right? And so when I do stuff, they're like, yeah, I see that could be his life. Like he tries to be a good dad, he tries to be a good husband, you know, he tries to like speak French, and we could
tries.
we could see him failing at all those things, you know. And I think like comedy, you have to be humble, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if you're like cocky and like I know everything, the audience is like, you know, I have a boss that's an asshole, or like a
Yeah.
brother-in-law that's an asshole, or like you know, like the guy,
Teacher,
a
any-
teacher that's an asshole. I'm not gonna listen to you. That's an asshole. Like
Yeah.
if you come and you say, you know what, we're all in the same place trying to like exist, and let's laugh for like a few minutes. And I think like comedy done right is therapy. I mean, we don't make as much money as therapists. but,
yeah.
I mean, to me, the
Nowadays-
best part is when somebody goes after a show, they're like, you know what, I had a really tough week. I needed that. Thank you.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
so nice.
Yeah, it's the nicest thing. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, money would be better, but I mean,
Hey, we'll take
can't have
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Can't have everything.
But when you I guess come about to write your material, how do you go about doing it, and what will inspire you to go a specific direction? Let's say, because I've seen a lot of your shows.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, but I honestly, I mean, I would like fall out of my chair with laughter for the fact that you're so genuine and pure when it comes to your comedy. So how is
Stop. That's so nice.
it? You want me
I
to
hope
stop?
my wife is watching. See, honey, those are compliments.
You can have the gnocchis now.
extra portion.
Extra portion. You can have two. So when you come up with your material, I noticed you have a theme when you're doing your comedy. How do you come up with your jokes? And I know you said it's reality based, but what inspires you to choose those specific themes, let's say, or those specific moments and run with it?
I don't know. No, I'm kidding. You know what? It's interesting that you noticed. I do write my jokes in blocks, right? So I'll do jokes about relationships.
Yeah.
I'll do jokes about living in Montreal. I'll do jokes about being a Canadian. I'll do jokes about being a dad. So, and usually I'm a storyteller. So I don't do this about being a dad, and this about playing hockey, and this about going to Miami. I'll have a whole thing about going to Miami, or what happened to me playing hockey. So I do, my themes go in blocks,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's interesting that you noticed that.
Yeah. But it tells a great story because you can see the I guess not just the humbleness, but the genuine person that you are. And these are things in your life that sort of stand out. And you can tell that these are moments that you talk about with such pride, and you incorporate jokes into that, and you make people understand that although you're joking about it, you're very proud of these moments or happy about these moments that you've experienced.
Man, you're like a philosopher. You're a comedy philosopher.
So reading into the...
I'm reading. But no, and all
You're
that,
like, she's at a show and people are laughing and they're like, why aren't you laughing? I'm analyzing.
analyze this. So how do you turn them into jokes? What makes it? What
So,
sparks?
I think as artists, it's my favorite word, and it comes from the Latin, the Italian, embellire, right?
Yes.
To make more beautiful.
Yes.
So we take the banality of existence, like the mundane thing of life, and we're like, how can I make this funny?
Yeah.
It's the same thing of like, the oldest joke in the book is somebody like slipping on a banana peel. That could be tragedy. They could
Yeah.
get hurt or whatever. But you're like, how do I make that funny? And it's the same thing we do. Like something like just today, if people follow me on social media, I posted a story about my wife last night because we just talked about there was a storm, and she's like, we should go shovel. And it was 11 o'clock at night. It's cold outside. We were toasty. We were watching Netflix. There was no chill. And I'm like, honey, we'll go tomorrow. And she's like, you think it's a good idea? Because tomorrow it's going to rain and the snow's going to be... This morning we went up, and sure enough, it was raining and the snow was as heavy as like bags of cement. And my wife is like, you should have listened to me. And now next time you say you let us be intimate, I won't listen to you. She'll be like, I'll wait tomorrow morning, right? And so it could be like, oh my God, why is my wife not having sex with me? I'm like, let me tell the story of why she said no and make myself the idiot, which is the truth, right? So that's, in truth, you try to make it more funny or beautiful or whatever.
You sort of transform it in a certain way.
Yeah.
But I guess it's really one of the, at least for what I see, is really hard. And we were talking about this before when you
off camera.
Off camera.
So when you just go on stage and you have lots of experience on your belt.
Because I'm old.
No, because of your experience.
No, but
also.
I'm old too. But yes.
You also did TV, you also did radio, so you have an extensive experience. So you're an artist and But how do you read, like, for example, you go to a festival or when you have a different type of audience, how can you read it at the beginning? Because you have to give them, something.
You know what? That's the hardest part. It's
That's
amazing how
very
both of
scary.
you, So we were talking about like no show is the same. And it's interesting because if you're doing a theater show, like I've done tours and it's a 500-seat theater and people have paid $60, $80, even if you drop a pencil, they're gonna laugh because they're like, I paid money, I'm in a theater, this is like extravagant. And I've done shows where there's 8 people in a bar and they're like, I didn't know there was going to be a comedy show. I just want to drink. So every show is different and you have to adapt. And the only way you could adapt is with experience. Like you learn, and also not to show fear. The audience you have to realize that the audience is on your side, right? They want to laugh, right? Okay. So you have to like be, okay, let's figure it out together. It's like a date, right? And every date is
like that.
And every date is different. And and you read the person and hopefully you find a common ground, une entente. See, I use French, Monsieur Legault.
The bed. The bed. No, isn't that the entente? Sorry.
Oui.
But that's why it's humbling comedy, because one night you could be like, oh my God, people were dying. They were like, and the other night they'd be like, I didn't go that well. And it was the same jokes. Same jokes,
But how you keep keep the faith in yourself? Because sometimes, it's yourself that it's out there. Are your joke and it's also based on your personal experience.
Yeah.
So I guess, again, with the experience, maybe this is going to change. But at the beginning, it must be very hard. Like,
at the beginning, it's hard. Like we said,
like kind of a slap in the face.
We said, the saying is, comedy is hard, dying is easy, right?
Yeah.
But the more you do it, the less it happens.
Okay.
And every once in a while, when you're like, I got this figured out, it happens and it makes you like humble again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's experience. The more you do it, and it's a hard thing to teach, right? I think like a lot of people maybe that are watching it and they're like, you know what, I might want to be a comic. Yeah, it's it's a hard thing to teach comedy. I think if you have it, you can develop it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you don't have it,
It's
I'm
really
not
hard.
sure you can go to school and become a comic. You know?
They straight school of comedy.
Yeah, you know, it's.
Well, that would be great.
Well, they have that.
Probably.
There's Humber College in Toronto,
Ah,
and there's
okay.
l'École Nationale du Humour here in Quebec. And
Oh,
yeah, and they only take like 12 students a year. And in Quebec, because of the French language, they have that buffer. So
Yeah.
there's a whole industry. There's comics that are making like $80,000 a year that are not to like make fun, that are not nearly as good as like a comic in New York or LA.
I agree.
But because of
I
the
agree.
buffer of language,
Yeah.
they get to make a living
of
here, which
course.
is fine. We're
But
happy
they get
for them.
hard,
A
of
bit
course.
jealous, but
Well, because they have less competition. I
Less
guess.
competition, yeah.
And that's a niche.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you do quite a bit of traveling. So
not as much now, but yes, I used to do like 4 months in Montreal, 4 months in the rest of Canada, and 4 months in the United States.
And how was that? I mean, in terms of, your material, like, and to Francesca's point, every audience is different. So you're going into different states, different countries. So is the response the same? Or is it, I'm a homeboy, Montreal is my place? Or, you know what I mean? Like, are you received? the
Basically,
same
can you
way?
walk in Manitoba and say, me, I was in RDP yesterday? It
Or
doesn't-
am I down there?
You
can't.
can't. Shit.
You can't. You can't. So you have like I write a lot. Maybe a lot of it is not good, but I write a lot. You need to have enough material that, like, you can't do stuff about, hey, I have a cannoli in Virginia. They won't get it, you know?
Yes.
And some comics try, and they'll only be there once, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's this famous Montreal comic who was on a CBC television show. I won't mention the name. And he was doing a gala in Winnipeg, and he did this joke about how Italian contractors in Montreal talk.
Oh.
Here it kills.
Yeah.
In Winnipeg, no one laughs because they don't have a frame of reference. So your material. So when you're elsewhere, you have to do material that will travel. So
Okay.
relationship. Like everyone is in a relationship. Everyone has children, wants children, hates children. Everyone feels like an outsider sometimes.
Yes, it's
Or personal experience, right? They say in the specificity of your experience comes the universality of truth, right? If I
Nice.
say, yeah.
Talk about philosophy, Franco.
Well, you
Holy
got. I had to
delight.
pick up my game with your deep questions.
Wow.
You know?
That's too high for me. Huh?
Yeah. You know. So, like, if if there's an experience that's me about truth in my life, some people will relate to it. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to do. You need to have material that travels.
Okay.
And if you want to travel, that's the only way you're going to do it. You can't be talking about RDP or the West Island or Legault. They don't. They don't
LA.
care in Alberta. You know.
Thank God. Besides that. So,
But I will say one thing that you guys asked me, and as a person that travels, Montreal has the most sophisticated audiences.
Really?
Yeah, because we're spoiled. We have the best festival in the world.
Yeah,
We've had it
that's
for
true.
40 years.
Yeah.
So you've seen the best of the best. When I go to Toronto or Ottawa, or if I go to a small town, the audiences are much easier.
Okay.
Much easier. If I go to America, the audiences are so easy.
Yeah.
Right? They're not as
educated in
yeah, not as
comedy.
cultured,
Yeah.
you know, in general, you know. People are cultured in Boston or New York or, I've never done comedy in LA, so I can't speak that. But in the Eastern Seaboard, I've done, Baltimore, Miami, we have a house in Miami. I work there a lot. And they're easier to make laugh. They're easier to make laugh.
nice.
Yeah.
That's very
I
interesting.
don't want to say they're stupider, but they're easier to make
Maybe
laugh.
it's more
easy.
they have more sun.
Yeah, they have more sun.
Maybe the sun makes them more
Yeah.
happier,
Yeah, that's
so
it.
they
But
laugh
like
more.
you said, we have, the just for laughs. I mean, we see the best
Yeah.
of
You
the
see the best of the best
Yeah.
in the whole world, right?
Joe
So-
Coy he's coming now.
Yeah,
I
Joe
think.
Coy is coming.
He's
Yeah.
coming.
Hopefully he's going to do better than he did at the...
No, Poverill, yeah. I just watched his special like 2 weeks ago, and I loved it. I found it extremely funny.
Yeah, and I've never worked with him, but every comic I know that has worked with him said he's the nicest. He's a real gentleman. And you know what? It wasn't horrible.
Yeah. No.
You know, I mean, we're talking about Joy Coy,
Golden Globes.
MC
Yeah.
the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah.
And he got horrible
yeah,
reviews.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but again, it's a different gig.
It's a
Yes.
different gig
It's-
because they're not there to laugh,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of people didn't know who he was. He's not as famous as some other comics because so many name comics turned it
Yeah.
down because
Yeah.
it's a very difficult gig.
It's
you
a
know?
very difficult
And he made fun of Taylor. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, you can't make fun
Yeah,
of
can't
did you
make
see
fun
her
of,
face?
like,
Did
yeah.
you see her
She didn't
face?
help
She
with that
was not
face.
amused.
No.
Faccia di cazzo.
And
Yeah.
Swifties are like attacking him all kinds. you know?
Oh
Crazy.
no, yeah, but I
we
was a-
needed Will Smith to go slap
Yeah, I was
something,
gonna say,
right?
That's
listen,
it.
at least he didn't get slapped, so that's a win right there.
That's a good thing. But I mean, like you've been saying about many challenges that you have, like in your path, career path, but also like nowadays. But if you have to kind of like narrow to three in this profession, what are the three biggest challenges that you encounter?
Wow. One
You
is
want that beer now?
being fun. Maybe I'll have that beer.
Shot all together, and then let's go with that.
But one, you have to be funny, right?
Yeah.
That's hard. I think.
You have to be nice. This is a business where if you're not nice to someone, you don't know in 3 years they could be at a festival or in a comedy club and say, you ever hear of this guy? And they're like, nah, he's not funny. Not because you're not, but because you weren't nice to them.
Yeah.
Be funny, be nice, and the hardest thing is you have to hustle. You have to hustle. And I think there's a fourth thing now, and it's harder for me because I'm older, is social media. Social media
is
right
really
now,
important.
there are comics en guillemets, see Mr. Legault, another French in brackets, that have 200,000 followers. Yeah. And they're comics on camera, but live, they're gonna suck, but it doesn't matter because people will be like, I love what they do on camera, and I respect that. I can't do that. I wish I could do that, right? Yeah. But you have to realize what they're doing on camera, they've done 4 takes. It's been edited. They did it over and over. The lighting has been changed. When we do it on stage, it's 1 take. No editing, and they can't do that. I wish I could do what they do on camera, but they can't do what comics do live. But promoters don't care. They're like, you know what? The show might be terrible. It'll be sold out, and next time I won't have them back. I'll get the next internet or social media star, and they'll sell out my show because the average person is like, it's going to be as good as when I see them do the stuff they see on camera, but it's different. But that's the thing now, it's social media.
Same with music. The same thing happens, right?
How many followers do you have? Like, I'll call clubs and I'm like, I've done this festival, I've sold out this, I've done these tours. They're like, how many Instagram followers do you have?
We
don't care.
Who gives a shit,
It
right?
sucks, but this is the real world now, you know?
Now, I've seen singers that, like, on social media, they did these little clips and they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then they have to sing 4 songs live, and it's like, what just happened? What happened? Like, you're shy already. It's because you're not used to being in front of a crowd. Like, you need to.
But it's true. Right now, promoters look at that because it gives you already the pulse of how many people are going to come, and then it becomes viral because they can post the show about the show, and it creates buzz.
And maybe on a 40-minute set, 45-minute set, which is a headline set, there'll be 3 funny minutes, but that's what they'll post, right? So the people there's 200 people in the audience, but there's 2 million people that watch it. They're like, oh my God, he, she, they are amazing. But it's only 3 minutes. I want to make sure I get all the pronouns.
You're very good. You're very good. We love them.
All the pronouns.
Fast
we love
learner.
them.
Fast learner.
Wow.
But in terms of you being, let's say you weren't a comedian. What would have been your go-to?
I like that.
What would I love to do? I would love to be a chef, but I would think that's even harder than being a stand-up.
You could be a comedic chef.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be great.
I love to cook. It relaxes me. It's part of our culture.
Yes.
You know.
See.
And I would love to be a chef, but that's so competitive. We were just talking about how hard it is in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
All my friends that are chefs, like, props to you.
Yeah.
And I don't do enough drugs to be a chef. every chef that I know,
the stress levels that they go
has
through.
a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, it's
and a lot of tattoos.
Alcoholic.
So that you can stand them.
No, I can't. Too much hair. It's like
It's great.
But you know,
I would
like
just have bearded ladies.
Something like Stanley Tucci is doing.
Yeah, that's
I love
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Have you ever seen his movie, The Big Night?
The Big Night.
I'm
no,
not
I've seen
so
a lot of
sure.
stand-up.
The Big Night is one of the most amazing movies.
now
He
I
wrote
see
it. It's
it,
his first movie.
Yeah.
And it's all about 2 Italian brothers coming to America in the 50s, trying to teach Americans to eat properly, right? And at one point, Mark Anthony is in it. He doesn't say one word. Mark
But he's
Anthony,
there.
He's there.
No, but he's amazing. It's hard to act like I know everybody wants to punch mimes in the face, but it's not easy what they do. There's this one scene where it's an Italian restaurant, but it's like Baltimore in 1950. So they don't know about Italian food. So the woman is insisting on having a side dish. So she has spaghetti, and she's like, she had risotto, and she goes, the dish comes with a side dish of spaghetti. I want spaghetti. And he's like, but man, it's two starches. You cannot have rice, which is a starch, and spaghetti, which is a starch. It's like, I'll give you meatballs, huh? She's like, it's a protein. You can have a protein. She's like, no, it says anything I order comes with spaghetti. I want spaghetti. Like, but you have a risotto.
Yeah.
You know? And,
You can't pair
and
that.
then
It's
the
true.
contrast is that Italian American that's been there a long time and serving food that he calls Italian that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on the other side of the street serving authentic. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
The Big
What-
Night.
what- the big night.
The Big
huh?
Night.
Big
Stanley
Night.
Tucci.
Okay.
I highly recommend
Also,
it.
I really like him. It's
You
a
will
great
love
actor.
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a beautiful man.
Yeah,
A beautiful man.
I found
Like,
it very attractive too, by the way.
He was good in The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
was
He's a wonderful
really good.
actor.
Well, it's
Oh,
a wonderful
yes.
life.
And even Tony Shalhoub is in it. Tony,
Oh, yes,
Tony
he's
Shalhoub
very
plays his
good.
brother.
Yes.
Tony
Oh,
Shalhoub.
it's his brother?
He plays his brother. Tony Shalhoub is Lebanese,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a wonderful.
I don't know.
He was
He
in
played Monk.
Wings.
He was in Monk.
Wings.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed out on these. I have no
He's
idea.
he's
What
in
are
that
you doing
Netflix
to
show
that?
about that female
Watching
comedian from New York.
Look
Tony
at her.
Shalhoub filmography. It's I highly recommend the show too. It's
Tony Shalhoub, I'm gonna write it
Oh,
down.
here we got the research going on.
that's live. It's live.
That's
see?
live. It's live. We do
Now,
it.
this is why we're not YouTube stars because we don't edit.
Okay, so he's in America. He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
7.
7-0.
Monk, Mr. Monk, the marvelous Mrs.
Yeah,
Maisel.
the marvelous Miss
Yes,
Maisel. He
I
plays.
love that.
Yeah, so he plays her dad.
Yeah, oh,
yeah.
I
That's
love
a very
that.
good show.
So he's
That
in the
show
Big
is
Night.
amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
and it's
fantastic.
very reflective of what comedy is.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh my
And
that's
God.
it's even harder to be a woman in comedy. It's
Yes.
better now, but it's really hard.
Really
Yeah.
hard.
I understand that. It's true. Huh?
Because it's a very macho thing, right? It's just
Because
you and a
the type
mic,
of
and it's like, you
commenters.
know. And most comedians are not. I think we do comedy, or you write a book. I'm talking about heterosexual men. You write a book, or you play guitar because you
Kiss
want to get
man.
girls.
Yeah.
Because you want to get girls. Most comics never got girls, right? So once they kind of become successful, they become, and I always tell, like, I've been doing comedy over 20 years, and I tell the young comics, I'm like, don't hassle your coworkers. Don't. They're your coworkers. I'm like, if you become funny, there's 200 women in the, if you're interested in women or men, you can like meet the audience,
Yeah.
and they'll already be in awe of you because you made them laugh. Your coworkers know you're full of shit. Don't you know? And I always tell comics, meet the audience, leave your coworkers alone, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
But that's
And
funny.
then you don't have to go
and
back.
and you have a whole plethora of people to pick instead of like this one poor female comic trying to make a living and you're hassling her in the car ride. Hey, you want to go for dinner? Hey, you want to kiss? Like, shut up, just do jokes.
But I'm very curious. I know sometimes you choose one person out of the audience.
One?
Yeah.
This
so
is something I'm always very scared of.
so
I love it.
I hate
would
it.
loved.
it's a high wire
It
act.
happened to me once.
That I did it?
No,
Oh, okay,
I
all
was
right.
at the comedy.
Here we
no,
go.
no,
We're
no.
in.
I
You
always
see
sit
it
in the
live.
back because I always go down, you know, like the pen
love
on the
it. They
floor.
do
Like,
But
King.
I can tell, right? So it's a high wire act, but it's a balancing act. You want someone that is kind of like uncomfortable, but
Not too
doesn't
much.
want to do it,
Yeah.
and not someone that really wants to like pick me.
Yeah.
They're never funny, those
You're never
people.
funny. Yeah,
you know. So you want someone in between, and it's like you kind of it's body language. You read, and like for me, my thing is, and I always tell people, I'm like, this is a collective experience. You're not gonna get attacked. We're gonna get to know each other, and if something funny comes out of it, it's gonna be fun. And if I'm gonna make fun of you because you said something, we're gonna go with it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like I never want people to leave like saying the guy made me feel like shit, you know,
Yeah,
because
no,
that's not why they're there,
yeah,
you know.
No,
they're
you
gonna
know.
feel embarrassed.
But it's important to do it. If you're doing 45 minutes, you can't just talk to the audience because then it's a TED Talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to break the barrier between the stage and the audience, and the way you do it is by interacting with them.
Yeah.
You know, and when you interact with them, then they're like, he's part of us.
Yeah.
I'll listen to him. I'm
Yeah.
engaged. You want to be
yeah,
engaged.
it also
Yeah.
looks even more spontaneous.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
It's not prepared
Yeah.
because you don't get from the other person.
I think Sugar Sam. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to see him now.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before. I mean, I've seen a
You're
lot
in
of
for a
clips.
treat, yeah.
I think 3/4 of his act is that.
Yeah,
From
but
what I've
also it's a
noticed-
high wire act, right? Like if you see, he's amazing at what he does. He's one of the best, I would say, in the world at what he
Really?
does. Especially here, she knew, right? It's
Yeah.
so easy because if somebody's French and somebody's English
Yeah,
and
he's
somebody's
ready.
ethnic,
Oh, it's-
you have everything to go
Yeah.
with, right? And but sometimes it doesn't go as well, but he doesn't post those ones.
Yeah.
It's fine, you know?
Of course,
No,
but
he
yes.
did. He posted one of them.
Yeah.
One of them when the woman said it to say it in French, and he goes,
No, but that was funny.
yeah, that was funny.
No, but
And
if
then
it's
he goes-
funny, yeah.
He says he's bilingual. That's why he's in the VIP section.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Yeah, but
was
that's
like-
funny.
I thought it was
funny.
hilarious. I was on the floor.
But you're right. Yeah, a large part of this show is interactive.
Well, I wanted
and
to
that's
ask
why
you.
people will go more than once because it was like, I'll never see the same show twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You
nice.
know?
So I
That's
wanted
a
to
good
ask you, as I love comedy,
Yeah.
I could go a million times. I wish I could go more. I've seen you in action.
Yeah.
You're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
That's very kind. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you this question. What
Does it help you get girls? No.
Does it? No, it doesn't.
Not me. Maybe attractive guys. And
There's a
girls, but-
lineup outside.
Yeah,
they
there's a
know
line-
you're here.
there's a line of bookies.
Let them in. Let them in.
Where's my money?
What do you? So I've seen you. I've seen you headline, I believe.
Yeah, headline,
I've
MC.
Seen you MC. Now I know, obviously it's good to be the headliner, but I feel the MC is also one of the most important jobs because you break the ice as well, and you're amazing at both. What do you prefer? Do you prefer like headlining, being middle?
So the easiest part is middle, right? Middle is the MC has done all the work. The opening act is probably not as good as you. That's why they're opening. The headliner has all the pressure, right? When I did my first Giovatti tour, we did like 18 cities, and I middled. It was the easiest thing. I was making tons of money in beautiful theaters and killing because the audience was already warm and they weren't tired yet because So that's the easiest thing. Headliner has the most responsibility because you're the one that leaves the taste in people's mouth when they leave.
Yeah.
And I think the MC is the most important because they are the link throughout the show. If somebody doesn't do well, you have to bring the audience up.
Yeah.
You're the one that interacts with the audience
You're
more
amazing at
because
that.
your job is
Yeah.
to make them feel part of the show. So I think MCing is probably the most important and the most work. Headlining is the most responsibility and the most pressure.
Yeah.
So,
Which one do you prefer?
which one do I prefer? I prefer middling, but you make less money. So I really like emceeing, but it's a lot of work. I think maybe I'm really good at emceeing. Like I'm not to brag, but if you ask people in the industry,
100.
Yeah.
I'm one of the best in Canada, not just Montreal, not just
North
RDP.
America, bro.
I really like emceeing, and I really like emceeing. And sometimes, a lot of times when I'm in Montreal, I know all the comics, and we're friends. We're competitors, but we're friends. But when I'm in the rest of Canada, I might not know the comics, and I'll be like, all right, like, and I try to do as well as I did headliner,
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are like, I didn't
okay.
know who you were, but you were funnier than the headliner.
Yeah.
And
okay,
that's
yeah, you
I'm
don't-
like, go tell the club owner.
That I deserve more money, right?
So rapidly, so if you have to, without naming names,
Yeah.
best gig, worst gig in your experience.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Worst gig is easy. And worst gig is easy. Look, there's a lot of, as artists, especially not famous artists, there are gigs that you're like, I deserve more than this. Not money. Like, I'll give you two, right? There's a Montreal booker who mostly books music shows. You might know who he is. His name is John Monty. You know who he is? So he books big bands. He does all the hotel corporate stuff. And he's a fan of mine. And I really love this man. And sometimes because he does corporate and hotels, he'll give me like well-paying gigs, but they're shitty gigs in terms of artistry.
Audience.
Yeah.
Artistry.
Yeah. Okay.
So one time he gave me this gig where I got hired to do comedy at a wedding, and it was
Hard, huh?
Wow.
yeah.
that
I
must be
normally
hard.
don't do it,
Yeah.
right? But it wasn't. So it was a Orthodox Jewish wedding
Wow.
where
Oh my God.
I'm
where-
already.
where because the Orthodox community, there's three major communities in North America: Montreal, New York, and Miami. So it was
okay.
a New York guy coming to marry a Montreal girl. In one of the nicest hotels, and the money was like amazing, and he booked me to do comedy, right? So I show up, and I don't know, one of the wedding party guy goes, listen, this is what we want you to do. We want you to pretend you're a homeless guy and come in and beg for money.
Oh.
That's what they ask you
That's
to
what.
do?
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it'll be funny. So I'm like, respectfully, I'm like, I got hired to do comedy, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows who I am, and you want me to do that before? He's like, yeah, it'll be funny. I'm like, it won't be funny, But, and again, this is humility. I could tell you guys, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny. I felt humiliated.
Yes, of course.
And then I had to go
Imagine.
do half hour of comedy where they're like, who's this clown, right? And at the end, I told
The guy?
John Monty, not his fault, he wasn't there, right?
Okay.
He's like, I made sure there's sound, I made sure you have lighting, whatever. And it was in the heat of the moment. I should have called him and said, John, this is what they want me to do, and he would have said, let me talk to the guy. But I did it.
You're a people
and
pleaser, right?
Yeah, we're a people pleasers artist,
Of
right?
course, of course.
And I told the guy, I'm like, you see, it wasn't funny. You know, so cool. I thought it would be. I'm like, yeah, but it's not your job. It's my job.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you made my job easy, harder. You know.
Yeah.
And like he didn't apologize, but yeah, no, he didn't apologize, and it was a hard set. I mean, the money was fantastic, and
Yeah, but
I got drunk afterwards, but just to like chase away
yeah.
the feeling,
I
right?
spent it right after on booze, but when I got home, I was minus 20.
So that's like, and again,
One
you know,
of the
it's
worst.
and another one that was one of those are the two worst, and this one is a funny worst, and it involves Sugar Sammy.
Oh my God.
So Sugar and I have known each other a long time. He's younger than me, but he started doing comedy before me, and I always thought he was fantastic, but there was a point he stopped doing comedy because other people didn't feel he was fantastic. He was fantastic,
Okay.
right? Sometimes that's how this business is. And he calls me one time and he goes, Franco, I'm headlining this, it was like a club, like a nightclub. And he's like, I want you to MC for me. And I'm like, absolutely, I'll do it. And it was a nightclub, really intimate, like maybe 30, 40 people, okay? And it was this guy had booked Sugar, and he had a best friend or was part owner of the club, whatever, that thought he was funny. We all know people like that,
Yes,
right?
of course.
And he goes,
Yes.
so he's like, Franco, it's gonna be this guy. I don't remember what the relationship was, and he's like, he's gonna open, right? So this guy, there's 30 of his friends, right? It's not the same. Like if I'm funny with like my family or my friends, I say stuff that they know and that I did 6 years ago. It's different with strangers, right?
Yeah.
So this kid had 30 of his friends, but maybe there was another 30 people that didn't know who he was. And he did like 3 minutes of horrible comedy, but his closing number was he brought a goat on stage.
Oh my God.
A
No,
goat,
again.
like, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you guys, if you get to talk to Sugar Sam, say, hey, remember when you did that gig with the goat? But here's the thing, I don't know what the bit was with the goat because the bit never happened because the goat is a farm animal. He's never been in a smoky, this is a long time ago, people could smoke. This is in a
the
smoky
lights.
room
Oh, no.
with no lights, with 60 people. The goat got scared and shat all over the stage.
No.
Yeah. So the kid never did his closing number, and the owner paying me is like, okay, go. I'm like, go. I'm like, there's shit all over the stage. Doesn't matter, go. So I had to go walk around and say, now your headliner, Sugar Sammy.
How easy was that show with shit on the floor, right?
Listen, I didn't stick around to see it. But yeah, so those are my two worst. One was funny, one
Holy
is like,
shit.
one is sad.
Yeah,
But
the other
Oh
one,
my
yeah.
God.
And the best?
Best, you know what?
I would say that one's the best too. Like the
Yeah, that
little
might
bit
have
of-
been.
Some feeling.
The best, I mean, there's so, like, the few times in my life I've gotten standing ovations, it's happened maybe like 5 times, and not recently though, and you remember
wasn't
each
there.
and every one. And like I was saying before, when people say I've had a hard time, I had a hard week, or my kid is sick, or I just went through a terrible breakup. I needed that laughter. It validates all the the shit we have to put up with as artists, And then they're doing like touring, like being like, we always say you have to be a legend abroad before you can be respected at home. Like having people book
Arthur,
me
yeah.
in Vancouver and say we'll fly you and we're so excited to have you, as opposed to like somebody trying to book me in Montreal and me asking for money. They're like, bro, I went to high school with that guy. Why would I pay that money, right?
That's terrible.
Yeah, but that happens everywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
but musicians
It's not-
too, no? It's the same.
Same
like,
thing. It's like-
artists
because
in
everybody
general.
knows everybody.
Bro,
but
I
yeah.
know your cousin. You're gonna charge me money,
charge
you
me.
know? Or like when I first started, people were like, "Bro, you're so funny. Listen, I'm having a stag, and come do like 20 minutes, I'm like, well, how much? No, I'm gonna feed you. I'm like, I could eat at home,
actually-
I could eat at home, and I can eat well at home, They're like, but what you do? It's like not hard. I'm like, okay, you do it.
Yeah.
You go do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Funny story. My brother.
Yeah.
This was.
Oh, now it's about you.
No, this is fucking funny because it's exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying. My brother, a couple of months ago, my brother plays music.
Yeah.
We played together and all this. So my brother's like, oh, fuck, Sunday I can't be home. Stab, I'm coming over. I'm like, okay, well, what's that? No problem. My house is your house. Come, we'll have coffee, whatever. It was a Sunday. This my fucking neighbor comes up to me and says, bro, if you're not playing, come and play over here. I'm having a birthday party.
Oh yeah.
He's like, but I have to go set up the sound system to play for your party.
Yeah.
Like
And
you're
know
not
how many-
inviting me. You're telling me to come.
You know how
"No, I'm
many
already
years?
playing."
You know how many years of work
Crazy.
it takes to make a song sound beautiful, to make a joke
no,
sound
yeah.
effortless.
Right?
People are like, it's like, why am I paying you this much? Well, you're paying us this much for the 20 years it took us to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to make your people happy.
Never,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's still, even if you get top dollar,
Yeah.
it's still underpaid for everything else.
Probably,
in
yeah.
context to life in general,
Yeah.
the bar gigs have been paying the
Yeah.
same for fucking 20 years, man. It's
Yeah, you know what? It's
sad.
so funny that you say that. Headliners now in Canada, on a weekend, are making less money than they were making in 1990.
Really?
Like
Oh
I had
my God.
in a lot of the comedy clubs, a weekend is $1,200. Okay, and you're doing like 5 shows. You're doing like Thursday, you're doing 2 Friday, 2 Saturdays, right? It's $1,200. In 1992, it used to be $1,500. You know what I mean?
With the
And
value
think
of
about
the-
it. Think about inflation. So
Yeah, with the
literally,
value of 15 at the
what was
time.
$1,500 is probably $600
Yes.
now. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the reality. So, in any bit, especially in show business, there's 2% of people that make so much money it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's 5% of people that make a living. I'm one of those people. And then there's 92% that either make no money or it costs them money to perform or
it's
it
a
never
side
happens.
hustle,
Yeah.
just
Right?
like you
People's
do.
like ACTRA. I'm not an actor, but ACTRA, which is
The Actors Union.
the Actors
Yeah,
Union in
yeah.
Canada.
Yep.
97% of members of ACTRA have another job.
Oh, yes.
97%. That means 3% of actors in Canada make a living just as actors. And people say, yeah, but in America it's different. No. And so it's called SAG,
SAG,
Screen Actors Guild. I have tons of friends that are in LA
Yeah.
and they're comics. They're also part of SAG. 90% of SAG members have another job.
Of course.
Waiters,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10. So yeah, there's Tom Cruise and whatever. But
Yeah,
those
but
are the 2% of the stratosphere.
Yes.
Then 8% make a living and 90% have jobs, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing in comedy. I'm part of the 5% that makes a living. That there's 2% that are like mega stars. And then there's 93% that they're lucky if they're making $2,000 a year.
And then there's the people like, follow your dreams, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
And it's true to a degree. What's your definition of success is where
Yeah.
it changes. And if your definition is to make a living in what you do in the arts, to me that's success. But people think of it as like as a singer, if my song doesn't hit top 1 or whatever, that's success. But it's not to be mean that you're good or no good, because it has nothing to do with talent.
No.
Yeah, sometimes
50 million
Yeah.
of the
It's-
same-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nothing to deal with talent.
It's alchemy, right?
Yeah.
If we knew the formula, everyone would do it.
Of course.
There are comics that are so funny that are not stars, and there are comics that are okay that are mega stars, and then there are comics that are fantastic that are stars. But there's so many comics that I think should have been stars and are not,
Yeah.
because it's a tough business,
Yeah,
right?
it is. I
You
think
know?
that's where the hustle comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need hustle and you need talent, but like.
When opportunity meets experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the golden rule, right?
If you have even
That's
a
what
bit of
luck
talent,
is. Luck is
and if you have even a bit of talent and those things are already aligned, then
right.
that's
Because
big
luck
deal.
is if you get that opportunity, but you have to have enough experience or enough know-how
To take
or
it and
talent
to
take
recognize
and make
it.
something of it.
Yeah, it's true
Yeah.
because
also to recognize it. Maybe
Yeah.
you see it pass by and you don't see it.
yeah, or some people take it too early.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. And they
And
burn
it up.
it.
Like I know
Yeah.
a story about a Toronto comic. Is a guy that I've toured with, and he had this like 7-minute bit, and it was voted funniest bit in Toronto. And because of this, he got all this media exposure, and he told me the story. So verbatim, he's like, Franco, he's like, I had maybe 12 minutes of material, but I was taking headlining gigs for $500, $1,000 that were 45 minutes, and I didn't have. And he's like, I set my career back a decade because people are like, I'm hiring you for 40 minutes, but you only have 7 minutes of funny material.
Oh my
You know? And so sometimes people are like too eager, right?
Yeah.
And then some people are like fantastic, but they never seize the opportunity.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's a high wire act,
Yeah,
you know,
it's too
and it's
bad.
hard not to fall off. It's hard to stay on, and it's hard to get to the end.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
see it. I see
Yeah.
it. You're right.
You know?
On that note, we're gonna have our
The game, no?
Oh, there's a game.
Yes,
Rapid
it's a quick little
response.
game
Il gioco.
called Rapid Response.
Piace
right.
giocare.
I have questions that Lisa wrote.
So she knows the answer.
How many questions?
There's you're gonna do like 3 each or something,
Yeah.
2 each,
Alright.
something like that.
So
So the first one is
6.
Lisa and Francesca. I'm gonna ask them. And
Oh, so they answer.
so they answer.
No,
They
not
just
you.
so-
You have your
And then
own.
yours.
So just so you see how more or less
Alright.
what we do. Not that it's complicated. But it's a-
We like to
and
think
and
that
Lisa
it's-
wrote this, so I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna try not to laugh. Name 3 animals you would ride into battle with.
You
Because
will
I would get rid of the into battle, but
Oh, you're such a pig.
ride into battle.
name 3 animals you would ride into battle.
You want to name 3 animals you would ride and you
Yeah,
get
ooh.
into battle?
That's a whole-
That's
that's a-
that's
that's
a
a
question for
different-
you. That's a question for
That's
you.
a whole different show.
I'm
bro.
I know,
It's a whole
interested
different
now.
show.
Animals you're
that you would
going
ride into
To
battle.
battle.
Okay, so teleporti in
Obviously.
battaglia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like guerra. I like
Yeah,
guerra.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't
But
really
you-
make
you're
any
right.
sense. Well, I mean, you can take a horse,
A
of
horse
course.
for sure, yeah.
Then you can.
Yeah, and if the
You can
horse
ride a horse
dies, you
too.
could eat it in the battle.
you never know.
Because you
On
are.
that
We're not advocating the selling
On
of
that
or
note, you can bring with you a pig.
Yeah.
Because it could be useful if you need to
Bacon.
to eat to whatever.
Yeah.
And then another animal.
A
it
goat
dep-
that shits all over the stage.
They say the
But when-
elephant. They say that Annibale brought the elephant from the Alps and scared all the Romans. So an elephant.
Okay, cool. Are you with her on that one, or? you have your own?
No, I would be a tiger,
Yeah.
an ostrich because they're fast. And I get the fuck
See
out of
how
there.
prepared is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
she wrote the
thought-
question.
Yeah, but she thought about it.
And
Like,
a gorilla because they're really
I
strong.
want to see how she's gonna ride a gorilla. Though.
Yeah, how you gonna ride a gorilla?
There you go.
Piggyback,
This-
piggyback.
So this you wrote it for Franco for sure.
I know.
Name 3 fantasies you'd love to live out.
Oh my God, fantasy.
Only 3.
You know what? I won't say it wouldn't be like 2 women because I have a hard enough keeping 1 woman happy, so it wouldn't be 3 women. You know what? One of my fantasies, I would love to have enough money that money wouldn't matter, right?
That
You
would
know?
be beautiful.
Does
Yeah.
it ever happen though? That's a question I ask myself. Does it ever happen that money doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think people that have, it's never enough.
Yeah.
I know, and it's a cliche, but some of the hardest negotiations I have at booking shows are the people with the most money.
Yes, I can
You know?
imagine.
100%.
It's a cliche, but also it's stereotypical.
Well, there's a
'cause it's
reason
mostly
they have
true.
that amount of
Yeah,
money.
yeah. They
Right?
didn't give it away.
Yeah.
Some of the most generous people are the people like I'm like, why are you like offering us all this? You hardly made any money. They're like, we're so grateful to have you here. Like, this is why you're never gonna be rich.
Because it's because they work
True.
hard and they
Yeah.
know the value of a dollar and they know
Yeah.
what it's worth to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're glad to pay it.
Yeah, but they're
you
never
know?
gonna be rich, is right.
Yeah.
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 No, I know, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And the
Two
third.
more.
I would love
Yeah.
to I would love to like live on a tropical island.
See, I love it.
Yeah, I would love to live on a tropical island, but with an Italian pizzeria. I'm not eating coconuts
Not
all
by
day long.
Spiro and Tasso.
Even if Spiro or Tasso.
Can you imagine our nightmare if you finally go there and there's like a pizzeria
With Cafe
on
Milano.
the-
Yeah.
With that guy.
For the espresso.
Ah.
Cafe
Bro,
Milanos and a pizza oven.
Yeah.
We're good to
And
go.
this is a simple one. I would love to know how to swim. I don't know how to
Yeah?
swim.
You don't know how to
I don't know how to swim.
Well, it might be useful if you go on an island.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's
it.
why I
Instead
said
of
number
eating the
3.
pizza and drinking the espresso.
Franco, I'm inviting you over to my house.
Yeah.
I have a pool. I have a pizza oven. I'll teach you how to swim.
I'm in.
It's
I'm
not
in.
an island,
Just how we're
but
doing it next week.
Yeah.
It's an island in Laval.
You know what? I have 3 boys, and the first thing I did with all 3 of them is make sure they learned how to swim because I didn't want them to have the same
Yeah.
like
That's a good,
lack of life experience or enjoyment as myself.
I
Yeah,
got it.
it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
But Italians, none of us. Do you guys know how to swim?
My husband doesn't.
Yeah. Do you know how to swim?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're a real Italian. But immigrant Italians, none of us know. You know how to swim?
My
Yeah, you're a
father
big
taught
show.
me. I was a little kid. My father threw me in and showed me everything. Yeah.
But you know what?
It's either that or you die.
But you know what? I noticed this because I love watching sports, and you find like Italians were really good at a lot of sports, even in the Olympics, eh?
Yeah.
But there's never a lot of like Italian Olympic swimmers.
It's true.
Well,
Never,
but
you know,
no.
not ever. And you know why? I think it's because Italians, you know, we have that thing you can't go in the water
After
Yeah, yeah,
hours.
unless it's 3 hours before eating.
I wait
and,
for that.
And Italians, we never go more than 2.5 hours without eating, so they can never go in the water. This is why I never gold medal in the 400-meter medley. Never.
That's so
Yeah.
true. That's so true. I still wait for
Yeah.
the 3 hours.
Lisa and Francesca, name 3 unusual uses for peanut butter. Wow.
Lisa first.
Glue.
Glue.
Yeah, because it's sticky.
Sticky.
It could
Yeah,
be
but it won't stay.
It won't
Eh,
stay.
no, it won't. But it depends on what you're holding together. Like if
yeah,
you hold
alright,
two
fine.
sheets of paper together, it'll stay.
That's true. She's good. She's right.
guess.
yeah.
Because she thought of
I,
Odd,
I'm
but what's
It's
okay.
odd, yeah.
Another
Yeah.
says uses for
All
peanut
right,
butter.
yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it's eating, right? You put it on.
No,
toast.
he said unusual.
Oh, unusual.
Yeah. Okay, you even wrote the question.
I know. Oh, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that while I'm writing, I'm thinking of the answers all the time. So glue.
You should.
You should actually.
You
That's
know,
how
it
works.
makes for a better podcast. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying.
Something
Eyeliner.
about being prepared. See what happens when you don't edit? This is why we're not YouTube stars.
Okay, eyeshadow.
That's-
Who?
Eyeshadow.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's brown. Some people like that look.
it looks.
Yeah, but what happens when you open and close your eyes?
Yeah.
It sticks.
Oh,
So it's like the cucumber on the eye, you know, when you're
Madonna.
you're relaxing.
This podcast is
And
going
then
off the
there's
rails.
another.
A foot scrub, the peanut butter,
Oh, the crunchy
the
ones.
crunchy one.
Francesca, does Francesca have to come up with 3 of them?
Yes. So basically, one would have been the scrub for the body.
Yeah.
The other one is when you want to convince your dog to do something. You
Oh,
get something
yeah.
about it. I said there's
but that's
a
not
video.
unusual.
Oh,
I am
there's a
not
video
saying
on
anything.
YouTube.
You're so
Oh, yeah,
bad.
right. You're not. Oh, yeah.
There's a video on
Francesca.
You're big.
I'm leaving.
Why? You put it on the like you stick here
That's
and then you
you know
cut
what the
I'll
joke is,
explain
right?
it to you after. I'll
Yeah,
explain it to you
They put it in
after.
the private parts. I like.
But no.
Now she's blushing.
I know. I mean, I like that.
Now she's red.
Guys, you're terrible.
I thought that's why you had peanut butter in your purse. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh my god.
I
we
was
need
going
to-
with
we
the
need
peanut
to-
butter. And you put it on the ice cream.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
unusual.
that
We
works.
could do that.
Yeah.
But actually, it's
coffee.
very
You could- I'm
good.
sure you could do something with coffee.
Coffee?
In Naples, they do all
No,
kinds of.
not with
No,
peanut
not
butter.
in Naples.
Not
No.
with
I
peanut
had alla
butter.
noce.
Dio scanzato, no.
No, it's not peanut butter.
Okay.
No, proprio
No, I'm just saying.
Scordatilla.
Ma che schifo. Okay.
Scordatilla.
No, you know why? The
Yeah.
best coffee I had was in Naples, and they made it alla nocciolata. So they.
Beh,
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
different.
nocciolata, that's
Nocella,
flavoring.
that's
quello è
different.
quello nocciola, c'hanno pure quello con lo zabaione.
Zabayones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
beautiful.
Franco, name 3 things you would do if you could talk to animals. She has an
Well,
animal fetish tonight.
I know.
I'd explain to them what to do with the peanut butter. One.
That works.
Good.
Maybe can.
Take your time, doggy.
Give it to 2 dogs. No. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got it.
His brain,
I would.
his brain is still
no,
going.
we
Oh
have,
my god, I
She
just
just
got
got it.
there's a 7-second delay. We don't edit, but there's a 7-second delay.
Oh, dear.
There you go.
I think 1 is perfect. I don't think there's anything else.
We're good to go.
Yeah, I think,
We're good to go.
I think we can't top that.
You know what? I'm going to go with the last question right away. Back to you, Franco.
All right.
Name 3 outrageous fashion trends you would rock with confidence.
Oh my God! You guys know my oldest son is a stylist, so I would.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
I
nice.
wish. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, and he's working in Paris as a waiter, but
But that's
Really?
but yeah. He's,
Good for him.
Yeah,
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. He's a
Awesome.
yeah. So I wish I had good. I don't even know fashion trends. Maybe I would
rock the fur coat.
I would rock the fur coat, but I don't think I would wear one. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I eat meat, but I think fur is a step beyond. You know?
Yeah,
Today,
yeah.
It's a step
yeah,
beyond,
nowadays.
you know.
Yeah.
But like a faux fur,
Yeah.
like maybe
Yeah.
like a pink or a green, I would do that. I would do the faux fur. I would do
Yeah,
the faux fur.
you would
Yeah.
do
I
a
like
show.
colors.
You'd walk on stage with that and rock it.
On stage, it would deflect too much. On stage, you unless it's part of what you're gonna do, you don't want the outfit to be the joke.
Yeah.
You know.
Gotcha, true.
Usually it's my nose. But that's really the joke.
Hey, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
I think I could rock a beard, because it's still a fashion
Yes.
trend, I think,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, it's totally.
But I would have to I would have
Beard,
to
a barba.
be a barba, but I have to dye all the gray. So that would take a while. And
Could you rock the mustache, like the hipster mustache?
you know what? My dad had a mustache his whole life, and I hated it. So
Gotcha.
it's
My
sort
dad
of,
still has a mustache.
it's sort of like
I never saw him without.
yeah.
saw him without.
He looked like Joseph Stalin. I mean, it was not a good look, you know. And you know, like I always try like taking it back to my dad. We have immigrant parents and stuff, and I don't think I'm as good a dad as he was, you know. But I try to like have more fashion than he did, because you know they were with the little like poor boy hat
Yeah,
and.
that's it.
They had the. They would go on the beach with the.
But I think I could rock that fashion, the little poor boy hat and the jacket that's a bit too tight. Because you the last time you wore it was like Zia Nipotina's wedding, and you gained like 3-4 kilos since then, you know. I think I could rock that.
My grandfather used to wear those little, the sandals, the brown leather sandals.
Oh yeah, of course.
With socks on the beach.
Wow, that's the look. You know? You don't want to get sand in between your feet. You're not animals. In between your toes.
My God.
Alrighty, so we're done.
That was fun. That
No,
was
it was
fun.
fun.
Thank you so much. It was
It's
so
my
great.
pleasure. I'm so glad we got to do it.
Where do we find you? Where can we
Yes,
hire
yes.
you? You're for hire,
Yeah.
for show,
Next
obviously.
show.
For hire.
No
Maybe
peanut
there's
butter
a
included.
Next show coming up.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of fundraisers coming up.
Oh,
It's one of my
nice.
favorite things to do. Is not only are the shows fantastic in terms of like for me because they're here, so I get to do a lot of local references, but we get to raise money for good causes.
Oh,
Like
that's
I
fantastic.
always say, I wish we didn't have to do fundraisers for schools or charitable hospital organizations.
Yeah.
You know, I wish the priorities in our government were, let's take care of what children need, what old people
Yeah.
need, what hospitals need, but they're not.
Yeah.
And if one of the gifts that I have allows us to raise money for, somebody doesn't have to wait as long in an emergency room, or a child can get extra care in school. So yeah, like I usually post those on like Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, Funny Franco Taddeo. I'm not on Twitter, X, whatever, because Mamá de Nistasi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do TikTok?
I don't do TikTok either. I
it's
guess.
not- it's not
Are you guys on?
No, I have the for Kumbari and one for me, but it's like very sporadic.
I have one that I think I looked at it a year ago, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't.
I think we should all be better at that.
Yeah,
but,
I think so.
It's
But
hard. It's not in the fabric.
It's not innate for us, right?
yeah.
It's something that has to, and the kids today, it's part of them,
Yeah.
and props to them, but
do gigs all the time, and they set like some of the people I'll play, they'll set up a cam just on them.
well, look at now. Like I didn't usually. It was a young. He would come in. He's like, I'm doing a podcast. Catch me, whatever. We didn't do. We're gonna do it after.
Yeah, that's it.
But,
No, and I look at live footage. I've done a lot of gigs.
yeah.
I don't think I have that much live footage unless like my family was there, because I don't set it up. I don't make people take. I just have like if we hired a camera guy to come and take a video of the band. And
Yeah,
see.
of course,
If not,
yeah.
I don't take it.
Guys,
myself.
I'm sure there's like open micers in comedy, and every show they record, and if they do 7 minutes and they get 32 seconds that are funny, they're posting that. Good
Yeah.
for them, and they get followers.
that's
That's
a
the world.
strategy.
That's the world now.
That's a
and if you
strategy.
want to make it, you got to play by those rules,
Yeah.
But I'm funny live.
You are funny. and on a podcast.
And on a podcast.
On a
I think you
That's
should
it.
start your own podcast.
Yeah, there's
that
not
would be
enough
it.
podcasts. You're right.
That's it.
Yeah, there's not
We
enough.
want more.
or a Stanley Tucci type of thing.
Oh,
That
man.
would be lovely.
I think you need a hook, an angle. I was just talking to some friends. I know we're done, so
No, keep it going.
I was just talking to some friends, and there's you guys know Only Murders in the Building. It's
Oh, is it with
it's with
not the one with Steve Martin?
Steve Martin, Martin Short, and
the singer.
And the singer.
Yeah, what's her name?
And so it's based on a podcast. It started Only Murders in the Building. There were murders in a building. They did a podcast about it, and they turned it into a Netflix show. They're coming out with the third
It's
season.
funny.
It's
Apparently it's
fantastic.
really
It's
good.
funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
Selena
now,
Gomez.
Selena Gomez, that's right. But now one of the more popular podcasts is Who Shat at My Wedding. So it's a
wow.
podcast about
I
these
missed that
two
one.
lesbian girls that got married in Australia, and somebody shat at their reception. And I think they're in season 2. They're spending the whole podcast. I guess I haven't watched the podcast, but somebody messaged me. They're like, I watched the first episode, it's funny. And I guess they interview the guest and try to find who the guilty party is that shat on the floor of their
my
reception.
God,
Oh my
So
God.
you need a hook, you know?
Yeah.
So listen, who shat at my wedding? If you guys get like more followers from this, you sponsor our podcast. But yeah, so you need a hook. Yeah, if you find a hook where it's comedy and Stanley Tucci and a dog is doing peanut butter on your orifices, that would be the one.
That could be something.
I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in. So thanks so much, Franco,
Thank
for
you very
everything. You were fantastic. Everybody's fantastic. Even the guests coming on are fantastic.
Oh, just to say, like, okay, so on Instagram, it's
Yeah.
Funny Franco.
Yeah.
Funny Franco Taddeo, and on Facebook it's Franco Taddeo, and I have Instagram, Facebook fan page that I didn't set up. Maybe I should have. And it's called Franco Taddeo, the Comedy Soprano.
Perfect.
Oh,
So
nice.
you can
Very
follow that.
good.
And I only post jokes on that, so you can follow that. You won't have to worry about my family, my political opinions, or what I do with peanut butter and dogs.
Now this is gonna be the
That's
thing.
the
Yeah,
thing.
the thing, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So guys, thank you so much for following us. Follow, subscribe, follow our friend podcast, brother podcast, Session with Stuff.
Yeah.
And we love you very much. Shout out to our amazing sponsor, Vito Gentile, Remax. Thank you, Vito, so much for supporting
What's
us.
his name?
Vito
Vito
Gentile.
Vito
Gentile.
Gentile. He put the kindness in the selling of a home.
That's
Love it.
That's
Vito.
for Vito. Take it.
yeah, that's amazing. And then thank you so much to Ernie Domenico and the Montreal Fitness Trainers. So get in shape, call these guys, have fun. Thank you so much.
Wait, I got one for them too.
Yes.
Montreal Fitness Trainers. Let them get you from fat to fit.
Hey,
Ernie, that's for you, baby.
This guy's good.
awesome.
Smooth.
Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much.
I'm also
guys.
available to write jingles.
Just
See? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
to
you,
our sponsor.
Franco. Thank you,
Franco.
everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thanks.
staff.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.